new one.
Well,
You
before you
do
press
realize
play,
that our guest isn't even here yet.
Oh no,
Guest
Frosted.
can't make it because he's got to make out with Jack Gunsky.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have a new
Well, that
pre-intro thing.
sucks.
This should get a laugh out of everybody. If it don't, then screw y'all.
It's got a really erratic discharge.
Content of her character is like 30% semen.
Boy, I just made a black man blush.
Stop. I can only get so erect. Hey, lady, come look at my bulge.
Star Trek: The Search for Bulge. I almost got lost, but then I remember that my bulge always points north. I only eat black pussy.
Jared, did you ever hear about the pygmy who was running with the zebras?
No.
He was running with them. You go, now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't.
Yeah, then she walked up to me and waves her bulge in my face.
I call drug addict.
Cowards.
When I came outside, I knew there would be 6 more weeks of winter because my bulge saw its shadow.
Her friends think that true love is elbow deep.
She's saying that a woman's cooch is her nature's pocket, but women won't be using it to hold their Metro cards and lipstick.
Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself.
This stream is like ancient Egypt. The black guy makes the Jew do all the work.
Clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Because in Arkansas court, if it's face-to-face, it's okay. But if it's back to front, then it's prosecutable because you never turn your back on family.
Hey. I got to know.
Yes, don't be black with your speech.
Black people with bugs.
I gotta watch these dirty, hairy movies.
I'm trying to think when I had said that has an erratic discharge.
I don't remember. Oh man, sorry. Will gave me the sounders for the last 2 streams, and I just knew I could do it. I squeaked it in.
You did good, except
Is that what you said the last time you got laid?
The one summing up the stream really should be the last one.
I have to focus on that one. But thank you for the tip, and I will try. We have Frothed is busy. He had to do something, so we won't have him with us tonight.
Bummer.
But we will have Mitch Nemo. Mitch asked Mitch to step
Oh,
in.
yay!
So he said he will be a little late, but you know.
But he'll be here. So
yes.
yay.
I will play the actual intro because if I timed it right, Tari should be joining us right in the middle of it. So.
Wow.
People think.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Welcome to the Midnight Show with the Midnight Crew. Rotncorpse, Angela Arriaga, James Colley, WillItForge, and our host, Peter Alexander. With special guest, Frosted Glass, With that, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin.
I forgot to
Maybe
change the
it's-
goddamn title.
And
The-
I was
gonna
going to
maybe
say,
it's just-
interesting that Frosted Glass is now Gen T Maxi.
Yep, I was gonna say that.
Oh,
And
wow.
also,
Shit.
he knew yesterday that Frosted wasn't going to be here.
No,
so...
I didn't know. Frosted. No, I didn't know yesterday. Frosted literally just He just sent me a Discord message saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna be here." I'm like, "Oh shit." That's why I made the quick addendum.
Like I said, man, he's out there writing some Medium articles and changing the gender wiki.
Yep, he got to update it. Like 500 new genders just popped up.
You just totally had to give him that excuse, didn't you, Ron?
But it's true. He does. He
It's the
owns
reason
the
why
gender
he didn't
wiki.
do the corner.
Yes. Got to update the gender wiki. Ladies and gentlemen.
For the record, I was at the Cancer Research Center.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, my body makes too much blood. So I have to see a hematologist, and we basically empty a pint of my blood.
Oh, Lord, you're making a phylactery?
Well, we'll change whatever you want to call it.
You are a fucking
But
vampire.
anywho, while I was sitting there waiting for my turn, I was talking to a man with one leg. He was just so hoppy.
Really, James?
Are you for real?
No, I
you-
wasn't talking to a one-legged man, but I figured he would be hoppy.
I can't take you anywhere.
That was a lot of lead-in for
Yeah, the
that
guy will never.
joke.
Yeah, the guy will never cross-dress for Halloween because everyone's just gonna call him Eileen.
Oof.
You know, these jokes would cut the legs from right under him. Just bam.
You know, I
give him
used to be a janitor, and I could sweep them off their feet real easy.
I mean, look, we're at least leaving him one leg to stand on.
You know, like a blind man at an orgy, sometimes you just have to fill around.
Man, we're terrible human beings, and I love all of you. So we just watched the Amanda Stenberg discourse video where it's literally a diss track about all the shit that's been coming her way from the Acolyte, which is a shit show that destroyed 50
it's
plus years.
blatantly the Principal Skinner meme of
Yes.
could I be wrong and could there actually be legitimate criticism?
Criticism.
Criticism.
could be legitimate criticisms.
Yeah, it's like, could there be legitimate criticisms? No, it's all of them who are incorrect.
Mm-hmm. It is current year as current year gets. But I want to point out the poor child had no ass. And there's also a little bit that I wanted to point out. You see how she's down for the cause? She's calling herself black. Would you be surprised if I tell you her father is whiter than driven snow?
Not in the least.
Say no, and I figured that her mother's family both owned and sold slaves as well.
Probably.
Oh, what the hell is her name?
Amanda Stenberg.
What,
No. The NAACP.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yes, Dolezal. Yes.
She does look like Dolezal.
See, she got in trouble for doing that shit, and this chick can walk around and do it 5 years later and be okay.
Yeah, because Rachel Dolezal is actually 100% white.
Yeah, Rachel Dolezal made herself look black without having any black parents, claiming that, and my laundry's done. Claiming that her mom was fucking a black guy, basically it was she fucked the mailman.
Just because
Dolezal is Dutch. You don't get much more white.
Just because this girl is mixed race does not make her not black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't make her less of a fucking idiot.
No, it does not, Tier.
Okay, let me ask you something though. Since we're talking about her mixed heritage,
Mm-hmm.
do you know who Tyrus is?
Who's Tyrus?
No.
He used to be a wrestler. He was the Funkasaurus when he was in WWE.
Nah, I don't remember that.
Not a
Okay.
single clue.
Anywho, he went to what was it? Anywho, he's been in the wrestling business for a long time. He trained under the late great Dusty Rhodes, and
okay.
he is biracial, but he claims black heritage. And the thing of it is, him being a Republican and pretty much one of those, and I don't think he calls himself a Republican, but he has conservative values.
Okay.
I am more accepting of someone like that has fact behind them, as opposed to this dirty Q-tip looking bitch who has no facts and just wants to shake her pudding thighs for clickbait.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So. You know the. Go ahead.
I really don't want to have to defend this girl. The point was that you were calling her out for not being black when she is part black.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. Let me explain. It's only fair because their way of thinking says they're not. Their way of thinking says they're not. Like, if they're not 100%, they ain't black. Like, it's their way of thinking. It's their logic.
Yeah, there are people like that.
And I'm going to throw it in their face. If you're not 100%, you aren't black. If you're not you're not. Your father's Danish, and she has citizenship in Denmark.
It's pretty much the only place where Democrats don't apply the one drop rule.
But they applied everywhere else. But if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it for all. She does not count. And I'm gonna use that against her.
Now I will say that
she's just
if she's gonna be one of those people that turns around and calls out people who aren't black, and I'm talking about she herself personally. I refuse to do the team sports group bitch session thing.
I'm not doing the team sports. I'm using her own logic.
Let her finish.
Did she say that?
Yes,
did she actually say that? And if she did, point it out. Because unless she said you have to have both your parents be black in order for you to be black, then you are calling somebody out for something that they did not say.
Angela,
I will not back that.
No, Angela is right on that one. If she has not herself blatantly said that or supported the person saying that this person is right, then yeah, you're saying that she's
in the song we just heard, she called out black people for not being empathetic when she herself is technically part white. She is making a line, and technically she's on that line on the other side. She ain't 100%.
Yeah, she straddles. We get it.
And so she called out half of her existence.
Well, I mean, she probably scissors too, and there's a few other things going on there.
She also claims herself to be black. So technically she called out herself, period.
Yeah, it don't work like that.
I'll give her one thing, though. I don't exactly have very much in the way of empathy. But that's just my psychology.
I just don't like her. Like,
It's okay to not like her, but it's not okay to be a hypocrite yourself because you don't like her.
I'm I've never considered. I guess that's just me. My way of thinking.
I'm sorry. That's just.
It's all good.
It's that whole sticking to your guns thing and being proper about it.
I understand. I'm sorry, Angel. Stream mom is stream mom, and I'm let stream mom be stream.
I mean, we'll go away from that and just put it this way: like, she's a fucking idiot.
Agreed.
Now, I will tell you, she is retarded, and she should not speak.
She shouldn't dance either.
Angela.
She should not speak on things she does not understand.
Angela, please. There's perfectly good and rational and capable retards out there. Don't insult them.
I was gonna say I think I may have just insulted retarded people, but and I apologize for that. But she
can't dance for shit. I thought she was having a seizure.
I'm not certain she wasn't.
That was her love sense going off.
I have seen.
And if you don't know what that is, I'm explaining it.
Good, don't explain it. I don't know what it is, but I don't think I want to. All I was gonna say is I've seen people in clubs. It kind of looks like that. It's
crumping.
There's a reason that I don't go.
And I still think they're all having seizures. To fucking stop me.
Okay, where's my clubbing meme? Because Angela said it. I gotta find it.
Oh, I'm more likely to do seal clubbing than I am to go to a club. By the way, and I don't approve of seal clubbing either.
So what you're saying is that you hate white people so much you'd rather club a seal. Gotcha.
No,
Angela, I didn't know you were that racist.
Motherfucker. Now I'm offended because you've just turned around and tried to say that black people are the only people that can go clubbing. And just because it's not my thing doesn't mean I think that white people shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Angela,
I mean, from what it sounds like, Angela is more agrees with like orcas and Tupperware, just looking for that tight seal.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
Bravo.
No, in the case of your joke, Tier, I was going along with it.
Off the game night, but I wanted to wish everyone a great show and an awesome weekend. Thank you, Brian. Have fun at your game night. Yo, Tyribot.
Ask the DM if you can cast that whole spell to where you can influence them, but to have them kill someone else, technically. Not kill themselves.
By the way, if you are still here, Bran, Jack Cochran was asking about you on Monkey's stream the other day.
By the way.
And since he's got that one, we can pull this one up real quick. I'd cast Find Familiar, but I'm looking for some strange.
Nice
one. I used to do a lot of role playing, and I'm going to tell you right now, always write a 20-page backstory on your character.
Wow.
Explaining for everything that you have equipped or in your possession.
I don't need a 20-page backstory. I just write a description in each item of what it is and where I got it from.
I got those 20 points from a blind hobo.
If you're the DM and, you got a guy or a person that's playing a bard and they say they want to seduce a certain creature or whatnot, make them seduce you.
Ew.
Make that shit. Make them fucking work for it.
But anywho, there's a reason for that.
The DM.
There's a reason for a 20-page backstory. Because you can hide all the really good shit in pages 11 through 20 or 11 through 17. And guess what? By the time they get to page 4, they don't care anymore.
They've been checked out.
So, yes, you can have a god-killing sword that does 7d6 damage.
Yeah, until the DM actually looks at you and is like, yeah, we're not doing that long a backstory, so anything in there, if you can't sum it up in 6 words or less, it doesn't exist.
Which is why I turn around and put a description of why I have each item in the item.
Nope, 6 words or less. If you can't do it in 6 words or less, you don't get it.
Jesus loves me.
The backstory for every character is I popped into existence when some asshole rolled some dice.
That's kind of funny.
Wow.
All right. So, speaking of druids, because, I want to burn all of the Just Stop Oil kids in oil after what they did to Stonehenge.
What?
I'll still say this
you
one,
didn't
like
hear about
the
No.
God, I can't remember the gentleman's name who ended up killing one instantly, and the other later dying at the hospital. That whole thing to where it wasn't a justified shooting. That's one of the few times where I'm like, I think that would be a justified shooting.
Angela, I will play it for you. This is Sky News. If you
I don't think Jack and Monkey covered it, and if they did,
It's been all over Twitter and whatnot.
I was
yeah, it has been.
Yeah, but I only see certain things on Twitter.
Can y'all see it?
This is either Thursday or Friday.
I'm actually jealous of you for not seeing this. I wish I had that.
Oh my!
I mean,
Oh shit! Sorry, I muted the site, so let me unmute so you can hear it.
Oh, we could hear it.
I heard it. I was hearing it.
Amid an orange plume, Stonehenge became the latest victim of Just Stop Oil.
Okay.
An onlooker tries to tackle one of the protesters.
Okay, you know
as
what?
paint is sprayed over 3 of the
Why does everyone be such a pussy about it? They need some like good soccer hooligan, or like someone who's played like American football, just to fucking bring one of those cocksuckers down.
Shit, do you remember the nun that tackled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like one of the few times I've agreed with Piers Morgan is when he had someone on his show and they were going over that. And Piers Morgan flat out said, these people are cowards. They only do this in first world countries. And the guy was like, no, they're heroes. And he's like, no, they're not. If they're not willing to put their, it's like, do this all over the place instead of just in places where they know no one's going to do anything to them, they're cowards.
Oh, most definitely. Yo, Mitch.
Basically.
What up?
What's up, Mitch?
Hey, man.
We were just talking about the
Just Stop Oil attack on Stonehenge.
Yes.
And the soccer hooligans, and I agree with that.
Say the site that has absolutely never in all of recorded history had anything to do with oil makes sense.
I'm so tired of them destroying our past. Like Stonehenge just doesn't belong to the British in a sense. It belongs to human history. It belongs to us all.
It's part of the human lexicon.
Yes, it is. It is like the Great Wall of China. It's like the Rhodes
That's why
Colossus.
they chose it, because it would piss everyone off.
It did. It's like the Mona Lisa. These things are. If aliens came to our world and wanted to see our greatest works, we'd show them that. You know,
I think we ought to do for a lot of these things, get some of the like bouncer-esque people and some of like the soccer hooligans and whatnot, and just tell them flat out, we'll start a fucking GoFundMe or something to where anyone who does that for that day or whatnot, they'll get like $40-$50 bar tab of like whatever they buy, like the first $50 of it for their drinks is free. Like until they get past that whole thing, then they have to cover it. I'm pretty sure there is a metric fuck ton of soccer hooligans that'd be like, sign me the fuck up.
They send rugby teams after them.
Yeah.
There you go.
What you need is a
Those
marine.
guys.
Wait a minute. Well, you saying something, Angela?
Never mind.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say what you need is a Marine at an Irish pub who's like 5 shots in, and just requested if I ever leave this world alive for their fallen buddies.
Oof.
And just tell them about this shit and point out who did it.
You know the funny thing about everyone's ideas here is that there's a foundation for the argument that you guys are making, and that foundation is it's something I say on Twitter quite often. Tyranny cannot escalate when addressed in a swift, efficient manner.
Yes.
And you get a soccer hooligan, in America, you get some prison inmates.
Yeah.
Because a lot of prison inmates, you're going to be shocked to know, are as patriotic as the rest of us. And when someone like this Just Stop Oil group starts fucking with our history, these people get pissed off, and they're already, committed to a certain punishment. So why not let them have a go? And I guarantee you that when you address tyranny in a sharp, efficient manner, that tyranny will not escalate.
Yeah, they should have been stopped the moment they started escalating. Walking down the middle of a freeway, stopping up freeway traffic, they should have got run over. Blocking traffic. You're not making friends.
Well,
You're not making allies.
I put it this way: when it comes to doing the whole thing of like blocking traffic, you irritate, you don't stop.
I kind of have my own theory on punishment.
You hinder them, you don't fucking outright stop them.
Now, just hear me out.
All right.
As far as this punishment goes, I think it's very fitting of the crime. What we do is we infect these individuals with body lice, but we cut their hands off.
Oh no, James, no, stop that, James. You know what we do when they glue their hands to the ground with cement and shit? We leave them there.
I'll be a little nicer.
That's been said.
Instead of just leaving them there, we're gonna pull from saw. We're gonna leave a bone saw there. You want to leave? Here you go.
There you go. And you know what, Rodney? I'm a modify that only slightly. You put it just out of reach. Make them work for it.
Okay.
Well, you could always stick them down and sign them over to Fauci.
That's a good one too.
Instead of letting
release a swarm of fire ants nearby.
Yeah, instead of having the puppies die from the bugs and whatnot, we'll just do it to them.
That's what I was indicating.
No. You remember when they did I forget what car dealership it was. Remember when a bunch of them went in the car dealership and glued their hands to the ground and they just turned off the AC. No, they turned off the AC, didn't provide them with buckets, and didn't feed them.
Yeah.
They
turned off the air conditioning. Fuck you.
Yeah, they didn't even give us a bucket. Air conditioned. Oh, speaking of which, this is old, but I meant to show it ages ago, and I think I want to show it. I had it for a hot minute, and I didn't play it. But remember when the protesters and when they took over the campus building?
Yeah.
That's a weekly occurrence, but
you haven't narrowed it down.
Yeah.
I'm not even 100% sure what you just tried to say.
I mean, that's been going on since the 60s, for Christ's sake.
This most recent spate of them taking over campuses and shit.
Oh, this is where they had spray painted shit on the walls?
Yeah.
And,
this one.
Oh, God, where did they spray paint on the walls? Something about...
Is this the anti-Semites, or...?
Yeah. I don't think I played this one. So here it is. This is from May.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Let me.
I'm pretty sure that I know what you're talking about.
Here it is. Can y'all see? I will enlarge.
Unfortunately.
Toxic shock. Yeah, there is currently a female student
this
who's being
dumbass.
denied the right to change her tampon that has been in for multiple hours, which leads to an increased risk of toxic shock syndrome. So while you're saying, I'm a female, I understand. Right, so then you should understand. Okay, what you are not hearing is that if she stands up to use the restroom.
Because we already know it's like, yeah, it's that whole thing that because I want to see ditch this one. Yeah. What they're bitching about isn't the fact that she's not being allowed to go change her feminine hygiene products. It's that if she goes and does that, they're not going to let her back in.
Well,
they don't have to let her back in.
I say this: if you're truly down for the cause, you'll take it out right in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. You know what? You went into okay, we've all seen the movie Airplane.
Yes.
Yep.
Do we all remember that scene where they're doing the different news shows, and then they get to the opinion one, point counterpoint, where the dude's like, Shayna, they bought the tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash.
Okay.
This is the position I take on these people. You don't go in with a bleeding whore hole.
Wow.
Decide you're gonna. Hey, I'm in a mood. You don't go in with your bleeding whore hole and start your fucking protest and then complain that you can't put a Band-Aid on it.
Well, clip that entire line.
By the way, all those people that were protesting and taking over colleges there in New York,
they got off scot-fucking free.
Dismissed a lot of those motherfuckers.
Of course he did.
Oh, of course.
Who?
It's no different.
The New York DA.
The ones that want, actively and vigorously pursued Trump.
Exactly.
No different than the fucking what was it? Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, the authorities fucked up. That was an opportunity to make sure that shit never happens again. Here's how you address that. They went in there, they took it over, and they said, we're autonomous. Okay, you're autonomous. Erect a fence with armed guards around it every 10 feet around that area.
Block the area.
Make an announcement. Anyone who wants out, you make an
anyone who
announcement.
walks out is now invading our country.
No. You make an announcement. Anyone who's not part of this criminal activity is free to walk out right now for the next hour.
Yeah.
And then after that hour, you lock it down. You cut off all the water. You cut off all the power. You don't let anything in. You don't let anyone out. You leave them in there for a couple of days, stewing in their own filth and regret.
Shit, you seen what happened? They had warlords.
Yeah. and that's largely because we didn't do anything that was rational when it come to addressing the situation.
Can I find I wonder if I can find the chop garden.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find the chop garden.
Yeah, tell you what, after 2 days of them stewing in their own filth, did you say, okay, who wants to surrender? And you let out anyone who wants to surrender at that point, and you file charges. And then you lock it down again in case there's still someone in there, because they're going to be holdouts. And you wait another 2 or 3 days, maybe add another day. Because there's going to be like stores and whatnot with canned foods and so forth. And by the end of the whole thing, people are either going to die of starvation or boredom or something else. And their little role-playing game is going to end in tragedy. And too fucking bad. You had every opportunity to get out. You had every opportunity to surrender for the crimes you've committed. You wanted autonomy, son of a bitch? Here it is.
But you know what gets me about that entire thing? Wait a minute. Well, you know what gets me about that entire thing? It only stopped when they marched on the mayor's house.
Oh yeah.
Like, she was willing to let that shit. Oh, it's the summer of love.
I was gonna say, because then it wasn't a joke to her anymore.
Wasn't that when no, that was in St. Louis that we had Ken and Barbie.
Ken and Barbie.
What were you gonna say, Will?
I was say only missing one thing on that. Once it's all shut down, none of them are left in there, and everybody who survived is arrested. Go in and take an assessment of all of the harm that was done in the area.
Yep.
All the damages and everything, and
they all
charge
get charged
every
for
single
it.
one of them with every single one of those crimes. Oh, this place was vandalized. Everyone gets it. This place was robbed, looted. Everyone gets it, and push for the maximum sentence on every single one of those crimes.
Exactly.
To run
And
concurrently. Yeah. Not
Wait a minute, here it is.
Part of their sentence is they have to pay restitution.
Yep.
Here it is.
No.
Wait a minute. I'm going. It's just fucking ridiculous. Look at this shit.
Yeah, because they put some dirt on cardboard.
Which laying down cardboard when you're gardening isn't actually a bad thing.
No,
but
it's
the
not.
point of it is to kill the plants underneath. Then you remove it and cultivate.
Yep.
Yeah. It's essentially to prevent the growth and spread of weeds.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. All this shit they did.
It's also the ones who they'll plant specific plants and they'll have that black film over it.
Oh, there it is. That's what I remember. The homeless
So
and the drunks.
Yeah, because they'll use that black plastic or whatever, but they have the specific plants popping through, so weeds are less likely to grow because they're not getting any sun.
The landscaping fabrics.
Yep.
Yeah, what is this guy tripping on the left? Jesus,
I don't
Christ.
know. He's tripping on something.
Remember Star Wars Kid?
Yeah, that Star Wars kid.
Yeah, why doesn't somebody do a Darth Maul lightsaber edit with that guy in this shop garden?
Remember what they took from you? Nothing.
Actually, what I think we ought to do is if they're going to do something like that, to where they, we're autonomous and whatnot. Okay, anyone who is a business owner but doesn't wish to give up their business in that whole thing, we're basically going to let them rooftop Korea and protect their own stuff.
There you go.
Absolutely.
See,
that's why we have the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is a bulwark against tyranny. It says so right in it. The security of a free state.
I mean,
granted, the one thing that if you reduce everything that threatens a free state down to one word, that word is tyranny. Go on. I'm sorry.
Well, James, you were saying?
You're missing the overlying charge that they should all been charged with.
What?
Treason.
Yeah, that's what Will just said too.
And public hanging should be the law of the day.
Well, no.
I think it depends. I think in a case like the Chaz, hanging's not going to serve anyone's interest in the long term. It's just, it makes for a great example, but the shame and whatnot of my plan makes for that same example, and it leaves them alive to pay back what they owe as far as money.
And even then, these are trust fund babies, most of them.
Although I will give one other exception to that whole thing, Mitch, because you had the situation near there in Portland, I think it was, where they were attacking the federal courthouse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to burn it down repeatedly.
And they should be charged with federal crimes. It should be escalated.
Oh, no. They were trying to commit arson on a occupied structure. That is attempted murder.
Yes, it
and anyone in the building or observing it should have been able to take immediate action in self-defense and defense of the innocents. Those people should have just been shot.
How many people died in the chop?
I'm gonna go back to Rooftop Korean for that. I say once the situation is over and you have them in custody, killing them doesn't serve much of a purpose. They need to live as examples of.
Oh no, I'm not saying they should be shot after the fact.
Okay,
I'm saying they should have been shot while they were trying to Molotov the building.
Yes,
All
yes,
right, wait a minute,
exactly. That's the Rooftop Korean.
Wait a minute, hold on, really quickly. All right, 6 people were killed in the chop, right? There's no fucking way for us to identify the murderer, and I say everybody that was in the chop should be charged with those 6 deaths.
Yep.
Yes.
Like we can't legally identify the murderer, and we can't just arbitrarily say, oh well, so you all were part of this. You were all accomplices in this crime.
No, they were accessories.
Accessories. There it is.
Yes.
You all accessories.
That's not
to
an
murder.
arbitrary statement. They were accessories. They were active participants in the crime that during the commission of which people were killed.
Well, yeah, it's the robbing the bank
felony
thing.
murder every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
If I'm robbing a bank but I don't shoot anyone, however, a customer dies of a heart attack, I'm charged with that man's murder.
Yes.
I think this is the same thing.
It's felony murder. You say you committed a crime in which, as a result of the crime, in the course of the crime, caused the death of another person. It doesn't have to be your intent to have killed that person. It was your intent to commit the crime that caused their death.
Yes. Yep. James' phone is overheating. Rock on, James.
Rock on, my friend.
Yeah, I'll talk to y'all later.
Giggity up.
Later, James. I just figured his lungs were overheating.
But again, like you said, like they were in the commission of a crime, people died, and you were there. There's no way in hell we could actively say who pulled the trigger and who didn't. Even if you give them up, you guys were still in because you blocked aid from getting inside to those people.
Yep.
Well, you're talking about deaths. How many rapes were committed?
Yeah.
Rape was heavy during Chaz and Chop.
How I'm gonna just look up how many crimes were committed.
You know, that whole thing really is a billboard for maintaining the Second Amendment. On a personal level, because I'm telling you, man, the same thing applies. I don't care who the perpetrator is. I don't care if it's these Antifa and Black Bloc types. I don't care if it's criminal street gangs. I don't care if it's the mafia. I don't care if it's the police. The same rule applies. Tyranny cannot escalate when it's dealt with in a swift, efficient manner.
Mm-hmm.
And I can demonstrate it for you just by looking at all of the video evidence we have of cops stepping over the line and being only sort of punished for it because they rely on things like false claims of exigent circumstances that the courts go along with. Well, we've had body cams from the police, and we've had our civil rights auditors. And I'm the first to admit a lot of the civil rights auditors are just assholes with a camera.
Yeah,
they're looking for shit to start. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that I'm on board with that, but they're not.
I am in one extent. The people that are reacting to them, the cops that are going off the rails and everything, are supposed to be better.
I agree. My concern, however, is when the cops are doing it right, and it does happen sometimes. When the cops are doing it right and the auditors continue to be dicks anyway. You got the way it works best is to let the enemies of liberty, the police in this particular scenario, let them be the villain. Don't do it for them. Let them do it. And if they don't do it, just wait a day because someone else will. There's always another cop willing to be a villain.
It's like one of them is going to cross
Fuck up.
that line eventually.
Yes.
It's really sad that we're at that point, but
your internet virality can wait one more day. But I got sidetracked on what I was saying.
Wait a minute, really quickly. I'm looking at the Wikipedia article for it. There were reports of break-ins, which is a volunteer medic intervened during a sexual assault at a tent.
They listed that as a break-in?
No.
He's reading a list of crimes.
Criminal harassment. Like, crime was like, it was the Lord of the fucking Flies over there.
It really was.
Yeah, less structured.
Yeah.
Less structured.
I read that book.
I'm laughing about that.
You have to give me a minute.
It's been a while. I read that book.
I'm in the middle of something.
All right, I'll hold on it then. Yeah, like, again, it's Lord of the Flies over there. You had you had warlords pop up. Like, they went fucking full on savage.
Oh yeah. And when it's cops, even with all the civil rights auditors, all the body cam footage that is usually held in reserve for in some cases on the order of years before they'll fulfill the proper FOIA request to release it. And when they do, it's heavily edited and redacted, and somehow it just wasn't working this time. And that's why you keep citizens with cameras.
Yeah, that's why you keep citizens with cameras. And I got this philosophy at this point. We've got technology for police to have the body cameras and to have, the actual capturing of video of everything they do. If they do an investigation and they go to charge, if they're doing an investigation, they're charging somebody, they're arresting somebody, and it's not on camera, that should just spike charges at this point.
It pretty much should. Yeah. But the thing is, cops know that we have cameras. Cops know that they're wearing cameras. Shit, they turned them on and off, as it turns out.
And I'm sorry, anytime they turn the cameras off, should be fired for cause.
I agree.
Yes.
But even with knowing that, they still keep escalating these situations. They know they're being recorded, and they know there aren't going to be any real consequences. That's why they keep escalating, because the courts are in on it. So,
abolish qualified immunity.
Well, for a start,
I don't think you should completely it should be examined if you had qualified immunity.
To a system of verified immunity.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I want. Go ahead, Angela.
When you're talking in terms that Mitch and Will were discussing, where they're destroying the evidence you need for proved immunity, then there is no way to qualify the immunity.
Exactly. No way to verify it.
Exactly.
Because I like the speeding verified immunity scenario is the one that's easiest to use as an example. It's okay for a cop to exceed the speed limit when he's chasing a speeder.
Agreed. Or if he's going to an emergency call, like if they got a all-point bulletin, I would say that's a fair. Like, I want this guy off the streets, so go right ahead, speed.
However, if the cop claims they're responding to a call, there has to be a record of a call.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes.
We need to switch our investigative intent from the so-called suspect that the state says is a suspect, and to every participant in the interaction.
Yes.
Yes.
If we're gonna judge based on the facts of the case, then we better goddamn well get all the facts of the case.
Oh, but that would be so much work.
Too fucking bad.
I'm not serious.
I know that. We're weirdly agreeing with each other by it sounding like a disagreement. Look at this Karen Reed case. They're trying to frame this woman for murder. They're doing it so fucking badly that the judge in the case should have thrown this thing out almost before it went to court, before it went to trial.
And instead, she's giving the prosecutor cues and suggestions on how to attack the defense's case that she'll actually support.
Yes, the judiciary is in on the tyranny. And what do we know about tyranny? It must be addressed in a swift and efficient manner so that it does not escalate.
Agreed.
At this point, I still don't even advocate violence against these people. I advocate other things because that's because that's an exercise in creativity. Now, because my ideas are like, don't let state agents into your restaurant if they're armed. They can come in, but they have to leave their weapons outside. That kind of stuff. If you see a judge is doing shifty ass things in their capacity as a judge, or if you find out that they're doing things outside of their capacity as a judge, that business deals and whatnot, that could possibly compromise or give them a conflict of interest.
As a judge?
Yes. Then what do? Refuse to serve them in your business.
I was going to say,
business owners in this nation have a hell of a lot more power than they think. But they're all a bunch of fucking cowards because they're afraid of bad press. Much more... I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angela.
There are also a lot of people who don't understand their rights in that regard. So they think they're going to turn around and refuse service and end up on somebody's TikTok viral meme and then end up in jail.
But remember, it comes down to, remember the case with the gay wedding cake?
Yes, and there are people who still don't know how that turned out, even though it did turn out correctly.
Yeah, it was affirmed by the Supreme Court that you have a right to refuse business with whoever you don't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and what that really goes to is the right of free association.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you get to force association on me. It means that I can deny you access to me.
And again,
it's the fundamental part of the First Amendment.
And again, the using the cake, the wedding cake, the bakery as the example, it wasn't the only bakery in America. You could have went to somewhere else.
It wasn't even the only bakery in their neighborhood.
Yeah, they drove past wedding cake bakers to target that one.
Yeah, that was
because they knew it was a Christian one. It was literally a targeted move because they knew they were Christian and they assumed they would win the case, and they became crybabies.
Well, and they continue to target that baker.
Yeah, kept going back again and again, new charges, even after the Supreme Court ruled on it. They kept going at the state kept going after them.
Yep.
Do you remember ages ago? It was these kids had robbed the bakery, and I can't remember exactly where, but these 3 black kids, they shoplifted. The owners caught them and sent them to jail. Like, you guys were stealing from us, and they had evidence that they were stealing from them because they were black. The college was doing business with them.
Yes.
Blacklisted them.
No, that wasn't a bakery. That was a fucking liquor store.
No, it was a bakery.
I remember the fucking liquor store where they were flat out stealing like wine and shit because one of them dropped down their fucking pants. And It's
I
not.
believe it was a combination of the two. Like it probably was one of those stores that like did multiple shit. But I'm pretty sure it was the bakery because the son inherited because his dad died from it was loss of business and he was just going through a lot of shit and he died before the case could be settled. I remember that very vividly, and like they had to he had given up like a lot of money, like I think he took out a loan to make sure that his staff kept getting paid.
And the college got hit hard for that.
Millions, because the faculty was also facilitating the protests.
Yep.
Yeah, they weren't sitting on the sidelines quietly saying nothing. They were actively advocating for the protests and slandering the business owners.
Family.
And then they cut they had a contract with the they had a contract where they would provide catering like cupcakes for the cafeteria, and they cut the contract based on they got paid heavy.
Well, then they had the whole thing to where they had to take them to court a second time because the school was just refusing to pay.
Yeah, and they got even more from that. And then they tried to say, "Oh, y'all didn't have evidence." He admitted to it. The cops came and he admitted to stealing it.
Well, here, let's go with a palate cleanser and then go back to being angry.
Yes.
The title of this: If horror movies had one friend with common sense.
So the ghost is upstairs and we're downstairs and you want to investigate, you're not allowed to make any more decisions. What do you mean you want to lock ourselves in an abandoned asylum and record to see what happens? No. You said a clown who killed your brother haunts only your town? Move. So you interviewed a serial killer and now he wants to meet you at 3 a.m. in the woods. Yeah, you're not going to that. So you shot the killer in the shoulder and then dropped your gun so you could call the police? You know you can do both at the same time, right? You shot the killer with one bullet and then yelled it's finally over. Shoot him at least 3 more times just to be safe.
Hey, I just bought a Ouija board. Let's go to a cemetery.
No.
What?
No.
Serial killer just knocked on the door. Do not say who's there. Do not say go away. Nobody is in this room. You hear me?
What do you mean somebody called you from a block number and knows what we're wearing and doing? Call the police. Also, it's 2 versus 1. Stay together. I know you want to fight the serial killer that never dies, but he's literally walking. If we just keep walking at a slightly faster pace, he'll never catch up. What do you mean you want to read the book that has the words "Leave this book alone" written in blood on it? Put it back or we're no longer friends. So the ghost is upstairs.
Mitch, remember? Double tap.
Yep.
This is conversations that me and my brother are having in chat while you guys are
while we're watching the movies.
Movies.
Well, in a lot of cases, it's true. Laurie Strode in the original Halloween. Fuck that kid, man. She's a moron. She gets her hands on the knife and just throws it down.
My brother looks at me and goes, "Why are we the only ones that are making these connections?" I'm like, because these are things that Mitch and I talk about after we're offline.
Well, not only that, I mean, look at the big analysis I did on the original Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a take that no one else has really hit 100%. There's Michael's going after Laurie. That's the one everyone thinks is going on. Michael's going after Annie is the other take a lot of people have, and Laurie just interfered and got in the way, so that's why he's going after her. But I think he's killing everyone who stands between him and Laurie because he's focused on Laurie. And the reason he's focused on Laurie is because he sees in her the good big sister
that he didn't have.
That Judith was not. His sister that he killed early in the film was not a good big sister. Laurie is out in front of the Myers house talking with Tommy Doyle about what they're going to do that night. Are we going to, we get to carve pumpkins? Sure. Get to go trick-or-treating? Sure. She's being a good big sister.
Even though it's not even her
even though
family.
she's just a babysitter, yeah. And Michael witnesses some of that interaction and sees that she's being the good big sister. That's why he focuses on her. Because he wants that for himself. That's why Michael fails to be an efficient killer when it comes to Lori, because he's not trying to kill her.
He doesn't want to kill her. He might have to, and it'll be it'll make him sad if he does, but
yeah, it's
but it's not the goal.
Yeah, he doesn't want to kill her. He wants to keep her. He's killing people who he thinks will get in his way.
Exactly. It's like, you're not going to let me have her. She's mine.
Yeah.
You got to die.
And, no one's really picking up on those things, because I watch the movie from I watch it like forensically. I look at it from a forensic kind of an angle. This is what is actually happening on screen. Dr. Loomis tells us things, and we sort of take what he says as gospel. But if you really think about it, that's Dr. Loomis forming an emotional connection with Michael, an emotional involvement, sorry. And that involvement is that Dr. Loomis is afraid of Michael. And that taints Dr. Loomis's analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Loomis, on that basis, becomes unreliable when it comes to Michael. And if we accept that, we have greater story possibilities for a Loomis subplot going forward from the first movie.
I feel like I agree with you, Mitch, but I also feel like Tyr's trying to go back to not.
No, yeah. Don't get me on Halloween, damn it.
Look, what we know it was the fact the reason why he killed his sister was because she had premarital sex, and
yeah, he don't like that.
Michael is for the Lord.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that. I'm going to play.
My favorite part was when he shouted, "Damn you, Judith!"
Oh, this shit! This again. Hollywood's full of weirdos, and I'm gonna play like this one, and y'all are gonna. It just pissed me off. I know. This one. Can y'all see it?
Yep. Unfortunately.
And so what I was saying about having sex with this transgender woman that I recently had sex with.
Okay.
Did you really?
Yes. The vagina is man-made. It's a man-made vagina. You know that, right? Like someone made it.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the surgery. The surgery. There's a surgery.
With a transgender person.
Yes, with a transgender woman.
Is man-made.
The vagina is man-made.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a doctor does it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So we're clear on that, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So listen. So I had sex with a transgender woman. Chinese, listen. I had sex with a transgender woman.
Colley, I am listening.
She doesn't want to be.
Okay, so you had sex with a... I'm listening. Okay.
Okay, sorry. She's getting uneasy. She wants to know.
No, just get to the thing.
Get to the thing. All right. So I had sex with a transgender woman, and when I put it in, it made that macaroni, or that was it the macaroni noise.
Macaroni in a pot.
But it also went bzz, 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 brrrr, pa 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 pa, brrrr, because there was weird shit in there because they man-made it. There was some like weird other things.
You were getting through scar tissue.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And there was like a thing that was under it going like this, and it was it was like literally the best orgasm I ever had. It's like, how they say once you go back, you don't go back. Once you go trans, you don't go back either.
Really?
So I'm not gonna have sex with any more just normal women.
Okay.
Only trans, because it's the best vagina in the world. A man-made pussy is better than a normal pussy. What do you want from me? Next question.
Okay. Look, I'm an aged celebrity who's out of demand. Please hire me for something.
That just sounds like the old Sandpaper Sally joke.
I don't know what the Angela. Do I want to know what is the Sandpaper Sally joke?
It sounds like Mitch knows the Sandpaper Sally joke. Do you want to tell it?
No.
Oh.
You started it. Complete the sentence.
Okay. The way my stepdad told it, this trucker is like really, really hard up for sex. So he turns around and decides he's gonna go to a whorehouse. But he doesn't have. He has like, I think it was like $20, and he's like, so he goes in and he gets a beer, and is like, okay, so I have $15 left. What'll that get me? And they just kind of look at him, and the madam's like, I have one girl that will work for that. It's Sandpaper Sally. So he's like, okay, why? Well, whatever, I'll take it. And they go, and she turns the light off, and he's like trying to get it in, and he's like, ouch, ouch, that really hurts. And she's like, oh, give me a second. And she does something and says, okay, try it now. And she's like, she's all wet and it's smooth, and it all goes well. He does his thing, and finally he's like, what did you do? How did you make it work? She's like, oh, I had to pick the scabs off. Yeah. It really, really was. My stepdad told me this joke. I was an adult at the time. It wasn't entirely weird.
As the old saying goes, yeah, well, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
because he wasn't going to bullshit a 4-year-old.
Yeah. But yeah, no. That is what that conversation made me think of.
Look, if you're gay, you're gay. Just say you're gay, Pauly Shore.
Well, it's not even that.
For all we know, in that instance, he could be bi, so...
Pauly Shore has not been in demand as a celebrity or even as an entertainer in over 20 years.
That's true.
And now the bills are coming due.
He just wanted some attention.
I mean, haven't you noticed how many of these, when these celebrities come out in favor of something like this, they're always someone who's out of demand?
Yes.
I mean, Julia Roberts, George Clooney, doing their thing, their ad bit for Joe Biden.
Fucking Jack Black.
Yeah. Out of demand celebrities looking for a paycheck.
I want to play that one, but I want to play this one first. So do y'all remember the smiling the woman that smiled when she was after she killed, like, I think it was a 3-year-old?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Bitch ain't smiling no more.
All rise. Court of Common Pleas is now open. The Honorable John J. Russo presiding.
All right, thank you. May be seated.
You get her a neck hole that actually fits.
And a bra, please.
All right, so good morning. We're here on case number 6.
I just figured they stuck some bowling balls in her
shirt. She's present in the courtroom this morning.
Not that she's running anywhere, but...
Mr. Johnson, good morning.
Yeah. Look at that face. Look at that face.
Ms. Varalia, Ms. Mateo are
Without a bra, she can practice soccer.
I'd like to set it for a trial. I think we said December 9th is a Monday. And 6 months out approximately, which is within the guidelines for the Supreme Court. Of course, those guidelines can be moved. But I think now, at least setting the date, everybody has a date on their calendar. Is that a date, at least looking on your calendars, is available to all the parties? Is that a Monday, Kathleen?
Yes, it is.
I just want to point that out. Bitch ain't smiling no more.
Nope.
And I hope they bury her ass under the jail.
See, my ginger cousin on the screen has got my mindset for that entirely.
Yes, please die in the fire.
You ever hear George Carlin go off on that heckler?
No.
Oh God, that's That's a piece of artistic rage.
Can you link it?
Let me look it up. I'll link it to you.
I always have fun when catching a comedian go off on a heckler.
One more Rotten, and then we'll play yours.
That's fine, because mine's kind of a downer. Not like a downer in a bad way, though.
This. I want to say that they're all starting to get this amorphous, utilitarian look that's starting to frighten me.
This
this
person
dumbass.
looks like every cop in the Karen Reed trial. That's their uniform look. They're like all of them have shaved their heads.
Yeah, it's starting to get creepy, and I want y'all to really absorb the stupidity that's coming out of his mouth. Just absorb it, all right?
Animals are eating animals, you know?
Some animals. Almost 75% of animals on this planet are herbivores.
It's part of our circle of life.
No, it's the circle of torture and death.
When you see a lion,
I mean, she's dumb as well.
But I noticed.
No, she's flabbergasted. She can't comprehend it.
And you have a computer. It is unfair to pick one thing that lions do that you want to mimic when you don't want to mimic anything else they do. When lions walk up and greet each other, they sniff each other's ass. When I came in this room, you did not kneel down and sniff my ass. Okay, lions sometimes.
He wants you to.
When they're
Okay, why are they beeping after he says
because
it?
they didn't want him, we arrest them and charge them with murder.
Their timing sucks.
And say, hey,
yeah.
But Your Honor, lions kill their babies, can't I? It's an unfair comparison. You're not a lion, and just so you know, lions are carnivores. Humans are not. We are herbivores, 100%.
No, oh God!
No, we're not, asshole. Do not try to make a point.
We are omnivores.
Well,
yes.
You fucking Jedi Knight
The
reject.
dumbest part about it is the fact he uses the same logic that a lot of them try to use. Oh, if you put a baby in a crib and you put an apple and a bunny in there, which one will it eat first? It's a baby. It's not going to eat either, you fucking retard.
Exactly.
All right, so I want to. There are a few points he made. He said 75% of the animals on the planet Earth is herbivores, and I pointed out when I linked this that he's wrong. Like by volume, by we are technically outnumbered by insects. 50-1.
Honestly,
at the very least,
the whole thing of whether or not they're a carnivore or an omnivore or a herbivore, or I should say a carnivore or an herbivore, is basically a fucking sliding scale, because there's enough goddamn herbivores that will still eat other animals, and I don't mean
the majority of herbivores will eat other animals. Deer will eat animals.
Oh yeah. Baby birds are basically the popcorn chicken of the fucking animal world.
Shit. But
I've seen videos of deer eating snakes. Squirrels.
And what I was saying was like I said, insects outnumber us at least 50-1. It's like Mitch said, it's probably more. Like the numbers probably.
It's probably billions to one.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty sure that most species of insect are omnivores, if not outright carnivores. You know, because ants will eat plants, or they'll take fucking, like they will overcome an animal and eat that.
Oh yeah,
and then the dumbass brings, you take, but
ants are the cleaning crew of the planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll eat just about anything.
They will strip down anything. Yes. And then I want to point out when he said, look, this is how you can tell a herbivore from a predator. Is where your eyes are set, how your eyes are focused. If you
That's
have
not
eyes on
100% true.
But it's a
very good indicator.
Yes, it's a very good indicator.
Yeah. It's not definitive.
Yeah.
But
the odds are higher.
Yes, but most prey animals have eyes in the front. Most predator animals have eyes in the front. Most prey have it on the sides. That is a common feature among them. Yes, there are some prey animals that eat meat, but not all.
Dr. Functional said it in the chat too.
Hi, Dr. Functional.
Yo, Functional.
Insects.
You want to know
eat
Functional?
shit.
Invite the Functional. He ain't doing shit. But yes, that is. Hold on, Functional. Tear doing some dumb shit. Tear doing some dumb shit.
There's.
Tear found somebody to fill the
900,000 different kinds of living insects known, and approximates 80% of the world's species. And a single ant colony can have as many ants as the entire human population of the U.S.
Yep.
Yes.
Easily. Termites?
All right.
Termites, forget about it.
Here we go. Here's what's a little darker.
Here are some moments in children's movies that were way too goddamn sad, and I don't know why they would do that. Up first and certainly foremost was that scene in Toy Story 3 where all the toys were gonna die. What the hell was that? Not only was this a crazy thing to do in the first place, you know, pump faking an entire cast dying in a genuinely believable way, but you're gonna make them all die in a horrible fire, and then they all start holding hands, accepting their fate, and then Bullseye's panicking because he's pretty much a dog, and then he doesn't understand the concept of accepting your fate. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Number 2, we have an obvious pick, which is the end of Iron Giant, Brad Bird. I don't know what kind of depression magic you have, but you added a little bit too much to the pot on this one. I mean, at a base level, it's extremely sad because he's a main character sacrificing himself for the good of humanity. But then you make him whisper the word Superman as he's flying into the sky in an atomic bomb because the only idea of morality and selflessness he has comes from the comic books that Hogarth would read to him while he's grappling with the idea of existence itself. What are you doing? Just unbelievable. But also, the whole concept of the movie came from the idea of what if a gun had a soul? So this really didn't have a good foot to stand on in terms of not being sad. Here are some moments in children's movies that were...
Wow.
That microphone is a prop.
Yeah, most likely. I'm fine with it though.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with them doing a prop like that comparatively to where they get that really tiny fucking microphone.
Oh yeah,
it's actual microphone. They had to hold it with just 2 fingers.
Oh yeah, I mean, the microphone that's designed to be a clip-on microphone, but they want to hold it like a real microphone. Fuck you.
Or
clip
the,
that son of a bitch on your shirt.
Or they'll take the headphones that have a mic, the wired headphones that have a mic, and they fucking hold that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I get angry. God damn it.
Present, share screen.
I was gonna say everybody's like really, really amped up tonight.
It's something in the water.
There's no video here, but the audio's fucking great.
Oh well, then shit. Still gotta play it so y'all can hear it.
Pope Corky I doesn't command a lot of authority. Now, would somebody just put a dick in that guy's mouth, please? Because that's what he wants. He's a cocksucker in disguise. He's got his mouth open because he wants someone to come in it. Now, do you want to keep making noise, motherfucker, and we can find you that way? Or are you just a punk, coward, asshole, bullshit, loud motherfucker, and you're going to shut up now so we don't find out where the fuck you're sitting? Because if you keep it up, we'll grab your ass and throw you on the fucking street where you belong with your mother. And I'm fucking her in the asshole every night anyway. So fuck you and your sister and your wife. If you got a kid, I hope your fucking kid dies in a car fire. Wow. How do you like that, you stupid cocksucker? Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here. You know? See?
The kid didn't do anything. That's not the
You
sins
gotta
of our
use
fathers.
psychology. You gotta be a bit of a psychologist up here and know how to appeal to a person.
Colin, he is literally one of my comedy holy trinity.
Oh, he is. He's
is a genius.
Pryor the father, young Eddie the son, and Colin the Holy Ghost.
See, I don't even know the guy's name, but there was this guy doing stand-up that I saw the video and just absolutely loved it because he got a heckler and totally went off on the heckler, and I was like, yeah, your name is going in my suicide note tonight.
Damn. Sam Kinison was good at dealing with hecklers.
Oh yeah.
Like Sam Kinison was amazing when he was dealing
Oh, and I found that D&D one that I was talking about earlier when Brand said they were going to do that, where he actually explains it. So it's when true climb enthusiasts play D&D.
So I know I'm pretty new to the game, but I had a question about one of the spells. Sure. What spell do you have a question about? The spell Suggestion. I wanted to see if I was thinking about how it could be used the right way. Oh, I love Suggestion. It's one of those spells that seems to have unlimited uses. Like you can use it to sneak past the guards or get information out of somebody or even for serial killing. What? like serial killers could use that spell very effectively if they wanted to, right? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, the spell says you give somebody a command and they follow it for the next 8 hours, right? Right, but if you give them a command that would cause them damage, the spell ends and they don't do it. Oh, I know all that. But what if you gave somebody the suggestion to murder somebody else? Oh my God. Right? Because you're not directly harming them. They are being told to harm somebody else. Okay, but what if they know you cast Suggestion on them? Then they could just point the finger at you. Okay, let's test that theory. Let's say that all the evidence for a crime pointed directly to you being its culprit. I hate where this is going. And then let's say when the authorities came to question you, you said, "It wasn't me, officer. It was mind control." It's a pretty weak argument. Okay, but what if they cast Detect Magic? Detect Magic detects active spells on somebody. So as long as it's after the 8 hours, there's nothing to detect. Yeah, I don't think I want you in my house anymore. Fair enough. So I know I'm pretty new to the game, but I had a question about one of the...
He's got a point.
That he does.
Anytime there's one of these unusual and interesting D&D notions and everything, it reminds me of a story I read of one group's campaign, and they basically encountered this situation that involved the town is being terrorized by an immortal werewolf. Well, essentially immortal. It's got way too many hit points and way too much regeneration for anybody in this relatively young group to be able to do anything about, and it's on a rampage.
Oh,
and
fun.
In steps the druid with a seed in a seemingly obscure and kind of pointless spell that grows plants from seeds.
Oh, Lord,
and says, "Hey, can I, I shove my hand in its mouth. Can I do that? Yeah, okay, it bites your hand off. Okay, I cast this spell on that seed that was in my hand. What? Like 40-foot oak tree causing essentially infinite damage at a rate that exceeds the werewolf's regeneration ability. Okay, you lost a hand and you just took out the boss of the campaign kind of thing.
So he pulled a Captain Ed Mercer.
You got to do outside the box thinking.
Well, that's what made that kind of outside the box thinking is what made entertainment so good a while ago. And then they showcased it again in that premiere episode of The Orville, and it was exactly that scenario. The Krill were coming to shoot everyone up. They had damaged the Orville quite severely. They had every advantage on their side. At the end, then Ed Mercer turns over the time ray basically, and he had fixed a redwood or a pine or oak seed. I think it was a pine. I think it was a red, whatever. A seed for a tree to the emitter of the time ray. So when the Krill activated the time ray after he beamed it over to him, or they beamed it off his ship or whatever. The tree grew to full size inside the Krill ship.
Fucking hell.
Breached the, what do you call it? It breached the hull. And basically killed the whole ship. Brilliant. And, you know, we used to have that kind of writing in entertainment. That's when entertainment is good.
Yep. You don't. Sometimes you don't have a hammer. You use a fucking. You use a pipe.
Yep. Kira Nerys.
There you go. So you don't got a hammer. Use a pipe.
And you know that's why our entertainment today, in most cases, is really just
lackluster.
Well,
predictable.
No, lackluster is quite entertaining, actually.
I would say
that's a good
lackluster if there were any luster. There's no luster in today's entertainment for the most part.
Okay, I'll use the word predictable then. It is predictable.
That's where it's just idiotic.
That's a good one too.
It's written by people who don't have the kind of life experience that was had by writers from the air quote old days.
The olden days.
Hey, Kiever.
So uncreative.
See, here's the thing is, those writers let's go look back at the original Star Trek.
Okay.
The writers, actors, production crew, that's a pile of people who had been through
war.
World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Cuban Missile Crisis. These are people who had dealt with things. The Depression. They had grown up in times when they had to use their brains more just on a day-to-day basis to get some shit done and to survive. And that experience translates into their writing. It translates into TV shows like The Twilight Zone, where you have a twist ending that's often rather fucked up, but also really creative and turned into great storytelling. And now the way that if the Twilight Zone is made today as a throwback, you know, they'll do it because, hey, it's the Twilight Zone and people will pay to watch the Twilight Zone. It'll be popular. And it turns out, well, no, it won't, because it no longer has that kind of charm. Because modern Hollywood thinks that all it takes to be successful in being the Twilight Zone is the title, The Twilight Zone, and some theme music that roughly goes na 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 na, and boom, we got Twilight Zone. Oh yeah, there's a lady. She falls in love with a guy, but the guy, well, he kills people with an axe. Oh no, next episode.
Mitch, have you ever seen The Obsolete Man?
I don't believe so.
It is a Twilight Zone episode where it is literally the world is
yes, I have seen it.
Yes,
I have seen it.
Yes, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the Obsolete Man is probably one of the best pieces of Twilight Zone ever created. Like one of the best stories Rod Sterling ever pumped out.
It's right up there with Winston Smith from the fucking Orwell movie, 1984, the Orwell book. It's got elements of that. It's got
religion, a conflict between the state, who is the higher power? You know, the state
and
or
worse,
God.
you have to go and make your case to the state. If I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, they were deeming people like him because he collected books and he was a librarian. As he was obsolete. Like they don't need books. Like that, they have the video now. Like he's obsolete. He's a drain on the system.
Yeah, and that's actually quite wrong.
Well,
since I brought up the original Star Trek, it's the same thing with that episode Court Martial, where Kirk had to rely on that lawyer Samuel T. Cogley to get him off. And Samuel T. Cogley's position was that if you want to know the intent of the men who wrote the laws, go look at the books. And at first, as a kid watching that, I didn't quite get it because life hadn't happened to me yet. But now I get it, especially today, because in a book, there's no going back and editing out parts that become politically inconvenient.
Exactly.
But in a computer system, in a homogenized computer system, especially.
You can change whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, you get to edit and cut and paste and all that shit. And Star Trek, the original series, in that episode on that point was really quite ahead of its time. And him making the case that Kirk did not get to confront the major witness against him, and that was the Enterprise computer. And that violates the accused's right to face their accuser. Really very good writing, again, And especially the speech that Colley gives. Because, and it's a fun twist because usually Kirk is given the speech before he starts sucking face on some hot alien chick. and I'm just playing with the his reputation more than what actually happened there. But it was a nice twist that Colley is the guy giving the speech.
Oh, no, Key, Frosted, some came up and Frosted couldn't come on. But he'll be on next week.
Something came up and Frosted flaked.
Something suddenly came up.
It's all good. It is what it is.
Yeah, he had to break his date with Marsha.
No, I'm telling you, he went to Gunsty's house and had to paint his walls.
Hashtag coat them walls.
Yeah, we don't. That's the thing is, our entertainment writers today, for the most part, don't have a body of life experience that has taught them to be relatable to other people.
Well, they don't get life experience.
Right.
Well,
they take a writing class in college, and then, their mother or father who blew off a movie producer helps them get a job.
Yes, it's nepotistic.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Like, look at like some of the comic book writers of the last few years. It is sheer nepotism that they got those roles.
Yep.
Yeah. Fucking sorry we're boring you, Angela.
I'm not bored.
But
I'm just listening. Sorry, I don't have more to contribute.
It's all good. I'm just I'm poking the bear that poked me earlier.
Yeah, that's kind of the flip side of getting Mitch on is sometimes it is just so good to sit and listen.
Yes.
Don't give me that
Yes.
shit. Don't play to my ego. I'll start believing that shit.
But Tear's still mad that I'm
not mad-ish.
I didn't mean to upset you. It's just one of those.
I get it, and you're my friend, and there'll be times where we disagree on things, and
you know what's
times where we
ironic?
agree.
It's just occurred to me. It's a total irony.
What?
If any of those Chaz people ever grow the fuck up and become writers, they will have an experience worth writing about.
Yeah.
It'll be about being terrible people, but they'll have an experience.
Oh fuck no! They will spin that shit to we were victims, and the Chop was this magnificent, utopia.
Everyone's a victim.
Well, like I said, I did put the caveat if they ever grow up.
I was gonna say actually that would be the interesting thing. See how many of them actually learn how to view themselves with a
with that critical eye,
non-biased lens.
Probably none of them, sadly.
As I get older, my cynical meter and my distrust of humanity increases.
I don't think that's cynicism as much as it is skepticism.
Yeah.
Cynicism is a different thing. I mean, if you see a guy coming on TV telling you he's got a direct line to God, you're not being cynical to distrust what he says. You're being skeptical.
Okay.
Same thing with a politician. We've got a plan that's going to make everyone eat, drink, and remarry and whatever. A Toyota in every pot.
Tomorrow they'll die.
A Toyota in every pot? Wonderful.
Yes. Whatever the fuck politicians promise.
I promise a chicken in every pot and a cap in every ass.
Yeah, a truck in every Toyota. And then fucking people believe that shit. We get that shit with Donald Trump right now. We need to be skeptical of Donald Trump.
Agreed.
Not because I think he's going to do a bad job. I think he'll do a good job, especially compared to what's been happening.
Putting brain.
But my issue with
low bar.
There's that. My issue with Donald Trump, though, isn't Donald Trump necessarily. My issue with Donald Trump is the people who support Donald Trump and who are pushing so hard for Donald Trump and who cannot answer the question, what do we do after Donald Trump?
I agree.
Do we plan something? Do we start planning something now, or do we just wait and see like we always do and let the Democrats, or not even just Democrats, but some other pro-tyranny outfit come in and try to fuck the election results again?
Who takes the reins after?
Well, yeah, it's all well.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, Donald Trump gets elected. What happens after Donald Trump gets elected?
Well, no, I mean, what happens after his term is over?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What happens after he's no longer president? Do we go back to the status quo, or?
Yeah, do we just go back to bitching about everyone again? Because that's the status quo. No one's got a post Donald Trump plan, and that's pissing me off. It's pissing me off because I'm nobody, and I'm observing this. We need people who can do something about it, who have the voice and the power. We need someone on the level of Alex Jones coming out and saying something about it. And when I say on the level of Alex Jones, I mean somebody that people pay attention to.
Somebody whose voice
carries. Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that, like, because he only has 4 years, and he can do a lot to stem the tide in 4 years. But it's just a stopgap.
And he's just one man.
And honestly, I don't think he's all that. Wow, I just said it that way.
Well, what's something we've learned in the last 4 years?
Without sounding like an absolute teenager about it, the man wasn't perfect. He made mistakes.
Agreed.
No, and
I
he wasn't
didn't
perfect.
vote.
He made mistakes. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'm going to say again, I didn't vote for him I have not yet voted for him in an election. I'm not going to vote for him this election. I vote specifically to get a third-party candidate permanently on the national ballot. Eventually, we're going to get enough people who realize that that's what the real problem is.
I mean,
and
has a chance of getting on the ballot. Getting 10% of the vote. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy.
As long as he's not running, like
He's
what party?
Independent.
Okay.
It's a third party.
Independent is no party, and they'll use
option.
that. They'll use that, but they'll use that to keep from having a third party on the ballot. We have people in this country who don't realize that there is something other than the Republican or Democratic Party.
Exactly.
And that is a problem.
I have a solution, actually, in mind, but it's something that I can't do because I don't have the money, power, infrastructure to do it. I think Rumble should do this, actually. We have these presidential debates coming up, right?
Yes.
And the Commission on Presidential Debates is a privately owned, by the Democrats and Republicans, organization that determines who gets to be in these debates. And there's no law that says they have the final word on this. It's just something that all of the legacy media outlets have agreed to. with the Commission on Presidential Debates.
Mm-hmm.
But that commission is completely lopsided in favor of Democrats and Republicans. Any third party must meet a higher standard to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And before Ross Perot, it was they have to. I believe it was the same. No, wait. I think it was Democrats and Republicans had to have 5% poll approval in states where someone's on the ballot. Some bullshit like that. I can't remember all the details.
Some arbitrary.
Right, and when Ross Perot met that prerequisite and got on the debate stage nationally with Bill Clinton and I think it was Bob. It wasn't Bob Dole. I can't remember who else it was. Oh, it was George Bush Sr.
Mm-hmm.
When Ross Perot got on there, they just interrupted him over and over. Bob Dole, not Bob Dole, Jesus Christ. Bush Sr. and Clinton just did everything they could to sabotage his performance in the debate, and the moderators didn't call him out at all. But after Ross Perot made it, they upped the I think it was Democrats and Republicans had to get 5% of this particular thing to get on, and our third party had to get 10. But after Ross Perot made it, third parties now had to get to 15. So the Democrats and Republicans who own that commission stacked the deck in favor of Democrats and Republicans. You have to understand that they are on the same team.
Yeah, George.
And that's one of the. That's one of the. There you go. That's one of the big pieces of evidence that support the contention that they're on the same team. So what Rumble should be doing is setting up their own debates that they can do online where no one has to travel. They can do it through Rumble Studio and have moderators get your I wouldn't say necessarily Alex Jones, but he might be a good one. But get some of our, even if we don't agree with some of these people, some of the new media types.
You know what I would love?
Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, and some, probably some people out of the, what's the word I'm looking, civil rights auditor community. Some of these people should be moderating these debates and posing questions.
I would love to see Long Island Audit moderate a presidential debate on Rumble.
No. I would love to see this. There should be two moderators, one pro the Republican or pro the one running mate or one candidate, and one pro the other. And their job is to throw questions to trip up the opposite side and promote the other.
Well, way to bring it back to one or the other tier.
Well, see, that's what I was going to address is the Rumble debates would be not Democrat, Republican. They would be anyone who meets the minimum threshold to be on the. They'd be anyone who qualifies to be on the ballot, basically.
Okay.
But even then, ballot access is geared specifically to appeal to to favor the Democrats and Republicans as well. So we'd have to use a different standard. But if we get Rumble debates between 4 or 5 candidates, that's going to be a huge thing. It's going to be extremely good for Rumble as a business.
And it will
all those views, and it'll be good for the American people.
It'll inform the electorate.
Yes. And the first couple of times they do it, it may not roll over and kick really hard, but over time it would. The problem arises in the interim where what we would have happen, and this would be a gross violation of the Constitution, but our Congress would do it anyway. They would create legislation to make the Commission on Presidential Debates an official government body. And the reason that's unconstitutional is because it would violate freedom of association and freedom of speech.
Even if it was an official government body, you can have... You don't even have to market it as a debate. It is a round table discussion with all the candidates.
You could do it that way.
It's not a debate. Like, it's just a round table discussion. Like, we decided to get all in a free and fair forum where they can discuss their opinions and their platforms, and it's just open to everybody. You know
what Rumble should do? And that's, it'd be like what we do with Never Watch Alone. At the end of the movie, we sort of, I go through and I ask the 4 questions, and that usually leads us into discussions on a lot of different things about filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
And this debate, or this discussion, as you want to call it, would be a very similar thing, I think. And the way I would do it if I were Rumble, if we do it in terms where it's not a debate, it's a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
If we change the context, then we can bring in, say, let's say we do the discussion first with 10 candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And at each stage, we do 5 episodes of this thing. Mm-hmm. And at each stage, two of those candidates get, air quote, kicked off the island. We do it like a competition.
Survivor. Political Survivor.
Yeah. So if we get one of these libertarians who acts like a retard and wants to get high and screw minors, and that's the only platform they've got in this Rumble discussion, they don't come on the next one because they're not really giving you any good ideas for policy.
Okay.
And this is the other thing I would do with it if I were Rumble. I would not let them veer off topic. I would not let them. Mr. Biden, what do you think about immigration and how do we fix the problem? Oh, they've got ice cream. And the goddamn Donald Trump did to build that wall. That wall didn't do anything. Hey, man. Mr. Biden, how would you address the problem of immigration?
If I were moderating, I would let them get all their thank yous and opening remarks in the beginning. The introduction portion is over.
Each one gets an opening statement. Make your case. Why should you be president? And you have 30 seconds, because the 30-second thing is important. Because we don't need to waste a lot of time with jibber jabber and long-winded campaign promises and bullshit.
You do need a moderator that is going to actually pay attention to time.
Yes,
I vote Mitch Nemo.
You need you need a group of moderators who will pose the damn it. Who will pose the question, come up with rebuttals or follow-up questions if they're necessary, and you certainly need someone to watch the clock and have a mute button.
Oh, you're saying playing my tune there as like my notions for if I was allowed to moderate debates for politics. So go back and finish your thought, and then I'll.
Well, the mute button serves 2 purposes. Say you have that 30 seconds to you get a minute to answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll give you a little buffer. You can overrun the time by 10 seconds. But at a minute 10, boom, you're muted. If your idea doesn't get out, you didn't perform well. And you lose points basically in the debate. The
I
other
would give
purpose,
them 10 seconds extra. I'd give them a 10-second alert. So at 50 seconds, you hear like little chimes, like you got 10 seconds left, and you're done.
Maybe. Either way works. I think it's better to give them a little bit of leeway, because.
Or maybe give them up to 10 seconds extra at a time, but cap the amount of total overtime. So it's like, hey, you can go a total of 5 minutes, 3 minutes over your allotted time. That'd take a lot of time. It's like, a minute over your allotted time, but you can only do it in 6-second increments. We're going to be doing 10, 20 questions tonight. You can go max overtime on 6 questions.
I say we build it into the scoring system we use. That's why we do it as an overage. Early. Well, yeah, if let's okay, we'll go with that minute thing. You have a minute to answer the question. What do we do to reduce the financial burden on Americans? You get a minute to answer that question with a 10-second buffer to go over. If you can answer that question in a logical manner, not even in a logical manner, because because logical manner is part of the scoring too, I guess. But if you can answer the question in under a minute, and if you can answer the question and make your case in under a minute, say 53 seconds, that 7 seconds you didn't use counts in favor of your score. Yeah. If it takes you a minute and 3 seconds, that 3 seconds you went over counts against your score. If you get muted because you couldn't do it in a minute 10,
that counts as a
goes
failure.
Even more against your score.
That should count as a failure.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't give me you couldn't give me your answer in a concise, quick manner in a minute 10. That is a failure.
You need to have an elevator pitch to be on our show.
Basically, yeah. And that would be the great thing is you keep the score tally going for every candidate throughout the show, so we know where everyone stands. You let the audience know how the scoring works ahead of time.
I say honestly, you should let the only people that should know the score is the audience, because if the candidates should I want them to focus on giving us the answers to their platform, and then at the end you reveal okay, we tallied it up, we showed you the metrics, we showed you with everything we've done, we've given you the how scoring is done, and then we're gonna today here's the time of truth. How'd you do it?
Again, I think that kind of a scoring system, it'd make it audience facing, is a really good idea because it informs the audience as to some important details about their candidate. Mm-hmm. And it's the kind of thing that's going to make people talk about it, and the people talking about this discussion / debate is what's going to get it attention. It's going to be a word of mouth thing that makes it big. The other use for the mute button, however, is that if I ask candidate 1 a question, candidates 2 through 10 are muted.
Actually, wait a minute.
Because you don't get to fucking interrupt.
To be fair, if there's a direct attack on a candidate, they should be allowed to give a rebuttal.
Oh, we'll work that.
They would be the next person you address if there was a direct attack.
I would say that would be worked into the rules. And there would be a method in our rules for this debate to address that. We just have to work it. I haven't worked out all the details, but
if there's a direct attack, you don't interrupt. You will have 30 seconds to respond to the direct attack.
Yeah, you're the next person.
If
remember,
or it goes on to the next person, you will have a period of time to respond to specifically to the attack.
To the attack.
If the person takes all their time attacking you, you will have an equal amount of time to return to the reply to the attack. And the fact that they were attacking rather than answering the question, it hurts them on their score.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see, if they can pull both off, that could work in their favor too. If they in 40 seconds and go, you know what, my opponent really isn't the sharpest tool in the garden. And sure, that's an attack, but he did it. He did his answer and the attack in only 40 seconds. So that's actually a plus because it is a competition.
Yeah, I could see that. You still, though, if a personal attack is made of any kind, not what a lot of people call personal attacks today. A truly personal attack, you gotta give the person the opportunity to respond without necessarily hitting them in the time. Now, I'd say if you can get your answer out and a jab at your opponent in like 30 or 40 seconds, okay, you're the next person to answer, but you have to put your response to the attack in your answer time.
Well, see, I would arrange it so that the personal attack gets to be addressed immediately after the answer period. For example, Tyr and I are in this debate, and I launch an attack against Tyr after I've answered my question. Still 10 seconds on the clock in my favor, but I'm done. So we just move on. We don't let that time expire. We just move on. Tyr now has the opportunity to respond to my attack if he chooses to do so. That's one of the other jobs of the moderator. I go, yeah, and Tyr's a big fat poopy head. Ah, take that, fucker. Then the moderator, Tyr, would you like to respond to that attack? And Tyr has the option to respond or not.
You should get points for being the bigger man, not take it to that level.
Yes, but you should also get points for successfully refuting the attack.
Yeah, it kind of depends.
Especially if
no matter what the attack is, because if it's a personal attack, straight, if it's that kind of like this person's a poopy head, yeah, you should get bonus points for just being the bigger man and saying, yeah,
I mean, mean tweets,
no answer.
Mean tweets, grab her by the pussy. That's not a policy attack. If you attack the policy, that should count in your favor. If you defend the policy, that should count in your favor. But these are rules we'd have to work out. We'd have to work out a scoring system, and we have to remember that these debates, these guys are not all candidates are not all on one stage. They're all at home because this is happening on a stream where everyone's at home, everyone gets to be in the debate, and our moderators have work to do. We got to have the guy doing the score too, now that I think about it, because I mean that's an important part. We have the questions, the follow-up question guy, and the timekeeper, and the scorekeeper. That's 4 people at least to work in a moderation capacity. I think it's a good idea, and I think it's it's something it's something that YouTube should have done a long time ago. And I think if Rumble jumps on this idea, it's going to be yet another way that they distance themselves from or that they single themselves out, distinguish themselves, there we go, from the bullshit that YouTube is.
Yes. I would even have a question and answer period from the if we're going to do it online. I'm pretty sure there's a stack of questions coming in from chat.
We'd have to do that a certain way.
No, I said we after the main debate, there should be a period of question and answer.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but there's you would have to have a way to moderate that too, so that would be a 5th moderator, I suppose.
I mean, it would be worth it. Like, it would give the American people another chance to ask them, all the candidates, questions, and they could field it to the entire. It would have to be somebody that's nonpartisan, or grabbing questions.
It doesn't really matter much who is doing the filtering of that, as long as they are given very, very clear guidelines,
right?
And
that's what we have to work out, because
forced to follow. It's like, okay, there's this question that's just cursing at the person and throwing some nonsensical question mark at the end. Yeah, that's not getting read. Now this one is, hey, we've got this issue with this happening in our country right now, what would you propose to help resolve it? Yeah, that's a question we want to have answered.
President Biden, what do you
Yes,
what,
but
what do you want to
sometimes-
do to help East Palestine? Go.
Or, how are we going to address the United States using places like Guantanamo Bay as black sites? And engaging in rendition and things of that nature. What are your plans to address that? That kind of thing, it's a valid question, but it's even a valid question of what are you fuckers going to do? Even if the question has profanity, I think you still can get a valid question out of it. So I don't think
it's a matter of if all they're doing is cursing at the person and calling them names and everything. If they're just adding attacks and everything, no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
go in.
why
If
is candidate 3 such an ass?
No,
you got the, you got the people that actually are posing a solid question, but they're the kind of person that uses profanity for emphasis and punctuation. Okay, maybe the moderator has to filter out the profanity and just read the question, flat.
Yeah,
this is what the question actually is. Without interpreting it, this is what the question actually is, without all the emphatic
the
extra
question,
language added.
The actual question has to be clearly stated.
Right.
Even if you're angry but if we can cut through the anger and see what the actual question is, fine. But we don't I don't think it's right to coddle the candidates. Oh, they said the fuck word. We can't ask them the question because the fuck word was in the original question. Yes, you can. Just don't ask what the fuck word involved.
I don't even think you should do that. Like, again, we are adults. Like, at some point.
Well, that's true.
Like, we are all adults, and if you can't handle fuck, damn, shit, how, bitch, motherfucker, goddamn it, cocksucker, then you shouldn't be allowed to be anywhere near the leadership.
I agree.
The flip side is if we are looking to reach the maximum audience and the maximum candidate base
If
of
you're
this,
looking to be,
you don't deliberately isolate people who are not per se easily offended, but will not deliberately put themselves in a position where they're being exposed to excessive profanity.
if you are looking to be taken seriously, you're not letting people turn around and throw random bullshit at the people you're putting on your show.
There's something to that.
Number one.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let Angela finish.
Go ahead, Angela.
Number one, you're not going to get anybody back on your show. Because they were made to look like an idiot having to deal with the random bullshit from chat. 2, the people watching your show are not going to take you seriously either. They're going to be watching for the shit show.
Blood sports.
Right. You don't want it to turn. That's basically it. You don't want it to turn into internet blood sports.
Agreed. But I've learned this.
And that's where you get to the you look for the legitimate, clearly stated question in it. If you have to cut some language just to keep it clear, clean, professional, great. All it is just an attack. It gets dropped.
And you look for a serious question. You don't turn
Right.
around and let on the person, what's your favorite Brat Pack movie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not. This isn't the fan Q&A at a convention. This is shit that has consequences.
Yes. But my thing was
so many Quora questions I see, and it's like, okay, you gotta be pretty bad off just to ask that question. Yeah, we're not gonna take that seriously.
Yeah. But like I said, this is in my head is just a concept, but I think there's a lot of good ideas there. Go on, Tara. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I've learned this through not only some of my interactions with certain, like at my job, I've interacted with a lot of military staff. I've even talked to a few generals in my day. And they're some of the most foul-mouthed human beings, but they're honest. And I've learned it through people that use foul language a lot tend to be a lot more honest.
I think so. I mean, it's
the psychology behind it is because they don't filter themselves. They say what they're thinking.
There's another angle to it too, though, and that's there is actually a linguistic. There's linguistic value to profanity that the anti-profanity people tend to ignore. You get up late at night to get that hunk of water, but you step on the Lego.
Motherfucker.
In the dark. Now, in retelling the story, you'll tell people the story in one of several ways. And the ways I'm going to illustrate escalate from lowest to highest as far as threshold. I stepped on the Lego and it hurt. I stepped on the Lego and it hurt a lot. I stepped on the Lego and it really hurt a lot. I stepped on the fucking Lego and it fucking hurt. Now, what that does is it displays the orders of magnitude, essentially. Mm-hmm. And how those orders of magnitude are presented allows the listener to determine, stepping on the Lego actually hurt that much, or stepping on the Lego really pissed off the stepper honor of the said Lego.
Depending on how it is, it's going to activate that flight or fight response, and sometimes everyone's going to get fucking punched.
Or the stepper honor of said Lego is susceptible to that kind of a sharp, shocking pain, and it will make them angry. Mm-hmm. There's profanity tells you more than just, they have a limited vocabulary, and that's a load of bullshit. I love it when someone tells me that I have a limited vocabulary because I use profanity. The reason I love it is because they're implying that they don't use profanity, which means that they are limiting their vocabulary. Mm-hmm. Like, don't tell me your troubles, lady.
Some of my interactions, like, they tended to be the most, because again, when you don't pass your word through that first couple of filters, you're not thinking, you're just speaking off the cuff. You're just speaking your mind.
Yeah, it's why you fart on a first date. Everyone should know what you're getting into.
Nice. Nobody wants that much unfiltered access to my mind, let me tell you. I don't want that much unfiltered access to my mind.
Will, you are an eldritch abomination.
Like I said, I don't want that much unfiltered access to my mind. Nobody wants it.
I bet your brain is like an MC Escher drawing. It's ladders and stairs going every which way, and sometimes you walk the ceiling and you end up in the basement.
Could you imagine, though, what a big political splash that would make to have that kind of a presidential debate?
Oh, yeah. But, Mitch, I've got one thing because, excuse me a moment. Sorry, all of a sudden congested. A lot of that plays very close to my whole, man, I would love just to be able to moderate a presidential debate, but it's got to go by my rules.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things is, the mute button's there, and I've got full control of it. But here's where I would divert from your thing. I don't mute everybody when one person is talking, because your self-control is also part of the scoring. And if you interrupt them during their time, then I mute you. You get a score penalty, and they get part of your time.
Not bad.
That's another way to do it. I mean, ironically, to work out all the rules and regulations and moderation policies of this kind of a thing would require a huge debate.
But again, it's not
I was gonna
debate.
say, you guys are nicer than I am, being like, oh, because you interrupted this person, they get part of your time and that whole thing. I'd just be the asshole and been like, look, you'll get cut down till you get 30 seconds, and then you don't get any more time than that for the rest of the debate. Like, unless you can do better, then you can gauge it, because like it's going to be that whole thing. If all you're going to do is interrupt and be an asshole to others, then fuck it. You don't need time to talk.
Well,
Yeah.
there is a multiple. My notion has a multiple strike thing, in essence, because it's like, you know, you interrupt one time, you take a serious hit, but you're not automatically out for good.
Right.
If
Three
you
strikes,
keep
you're out.
interrupting, if you can't stop yourself from interrupting, yeah, you're going down hard, and you will hit a point quickly where I will not unmute your mic.
We'll just boot you.
Say,
Everybody's been eliminated.
your mic's getting, say, this is remote, so you can't try and take over. Your mic's getting muted. You're going to end up, and I'm not going to cut you from the call, so your face can be there.
Honestly,
as long as you don't do something that's going to, you know, get the channel in trouble or something. Your face is going to be there. You can try and talk, but nobody's going to hear you.
But even
you can leave. You're already going to be declared the loser. But I would rather rub your nose in it that you're going to be the loser for the rest of the debate.
well, if they do
And if
something
you
to
leave-
get the channel struck, just imagine it. You have video evidence that will say Biden did something so egregious that your channel caught a strike.
Yeah.
Well, that's also where you have a little bit of a delay between the processing of this and broadcast. So if they go and do something, one of your people can turn off that
Live
part
feed.
of the stream, block that feed.
I wouldn't even do that. I would have, like, if Rumble's going to do this, and if the candidate does do something like that, which it would be an egregious thing on them, that they did something, like, if say Biden just dropped trial and showed everybody his ass because he caught the axe, you know, you have the evidence.
Yeah, here's the thing. I would not do any cutout of their feed if my channel and everything's not going to take a hit for it.
Your channel shouldn't take a hit for it because it's a political debate by elected officials,
right?
Or
I
people
would agree
vying
that
for
it shouldn't take-
elected office.
Yes.
And I would agree, should not take a hit for it. But if we have reason to know that we're going to get burned for it, then yeah. If we can be certain that this is not going to in any way come back to bite us, don't just leave it on there.
Well, I would
You've got
the
the copyright to that broadcast.
God, you know what else? Oh shit!
Wait a minute.
Restream.
Wait a minute. I would add a special caveat. You can't turn off your monitor. You can't cut your feed, because if you cut your feed, we're gonna assume somebody's back there helping you.
Well, that's the thing. If you go dark
or mute, if you mute yourself.
Yeah. Well, you go dark or you mute yourself, then it's going to count against you. If you get mad because we've already declared you the loser and you leave, we're going to take your spot on the screen. We're going to replace it with your image with the word loser written over it. And maybe a few other things.
See, now we're just getting into stuff that would be fun to do. It's got its value, I'll admit.
Well, the thing is, you got to think about the actual behavior during debates.
Yes.
That we have seen from politicians, the behavior that we have seen on the floor of the Senate, on the floor of the House, in front of microphones for the media and everything. and you have to have contingencies planned for at least the most egregious or common behavior.
I agree.
And the most egregious and common behavior you see in a political debate, aside from just when they lie, is interrupting each other.
Yep. Now,
you gotta have.
I think someone might have been.
You gotta have it where there's something that you're gonna do. If they actually do give something like a clearly demonstrable lie, not something that's a matter of opinion and interpretation of the facts. They clearly and demonstrably misrepresent the facts as they are objectively. You gotta have a way to penalize for that. They go and they break the rules for interrupting. You gotta have a way to penalize for that.
I agree. Now, I think someone was mentioning this when I was thinking about it. Again, if I were Rumble, I would let the punditry, the people who aren't being tapped to moderate, but they want to stream this debate themselves. I would make it available for them to stream it while the debate is happening, even though Rumble itself is streaming it. Because that's an even bigger way to get views on Rumble is if they have this debate, and then all of your assorted lawyers in the content creation space and other political analyst types, these air quote amateurs like us, being able to stream it and do a running commentary on it, that would be awesome.
How much?
And people could watch it on which channel they want. It would be awesome.
How much traffic would it drive to the platform?
Exactly.
You have the platform hosting this, and then, hey, Monkey and Jack can restream it with commentary live.
Yes.
Steven Crowder, like him or hate him, he's going to restream it with commentary live.
Right.
Tim Pool. Hey, Ben
Exactly.
Shapiro.
The
Anybody
only
from
caveat-
LawTube.
The only caveat, you know what? I wouldn't even have this caveat at first. But because some people will want to get it to the biggest audience possible, and the way to do that is to stream it to YouTube. So you stream it to YouTube as a not as Rumble, but as if we were doing it, we'd have the option to stream it to YouTube as well. And here's why. Because when we start getting to the heart of matters, and YouTube decides to start shutting streams down over it,
we know where they lie.
It's still live over on Rumble.
Exactly. You give YouTube the opportunity to once again be the best marketing and advertising for Rumble that Rumble never has to pay for.
And know that YouTube's going to cut off their nose to spite their face.
Yes.
Because they
and
can't
the one
stand.
thing you go in from the very beginning, you let all those content creators know, hey, you do your restreams of this live with your commentary. The only thing that we ask is that you do the attribution of where the feed is coming from.
Yep. Exactly.
And do not alter the content of the feed itself.
Right.
Put your own overlays on it, pause it, and give commentary. Give commentary over top of it, but leave the feed itself
intact.
Yes.
Intact, unchanged. The only way to get in trouble from us is to take the feed and start changing the content of it and broadcasting it in a way that it's not obviously parody. Make it look like the people in there said and did something other than what they actually did.
Right. Man, Rumble
overlay
would jump
as much
on
as
this.
you want.
Rumble should be jumping on this idea.
Shit, have Rogan do it. Rogan get he's the biggest. Him and have him do it. Have him get Tim Pool to moderate. It should be a joint venture. It really should be.
Actually, Joe Rogan would be a great It would be a great get. One of the if you had Joe Rogan host that fucking debate on his show, that would be fucking awesome too. Because that would be more massive free advertising for Rumble.
And he could throw it on Spotify.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is a case where Rumble has an opportunity to get a shitload of free marketing out of a presidential debate. And you know what the best part about this really is?
Mm-hmm.
Rumble sends out the invitations. Like I said, we do it. You know, we do 10 candidates at first, then 8, then 6. Then this is just, I'm sure it won't go this way, but this is just my thinking initially. Then 4, then 2, yada, you know. And as we whittle it down this way, we get down to, like, say, the last 2 or 4 candidates. That's when we start zeroing in a bit. It's like, okay, here's this one's going to be all questions. This episode's going to be all questions about domestic policy. Okay, this one's going to be all questions about foreign policy. Okay, this one's going to be all about
energy.
Creating an environment in which businesses can thrive. Energy, that's another good one.
Kitchen table, you know, issues.
Yeah.
Hell, you could have one that's completely. We're going to choose questions from our chat, you know, and they're going to ask you questions. You want to answer those questions.
Or this entire round is going to be questions we couldn't get to from previous shows.
There you go.
There you go.
Because if it picks up at all, you know you're going to get more questions than you're going to have time for.
I wonder if we should put together a sample presentation to submit to Rumble.
That'd be interesting.
You know, basically we play the part. Someone plays the part of candidate. You know, let's do it. To make it simple, let's have 3 candidates and a couple of moderators. And we'll have to find a way to simulate things like countdown timers, mute button, all that shit to make it work.
Well, if it's done in a call like this, you can definitely mute people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'd have to come up with the questions. And in the case of doing a sample proposal, when I say a sample proposal, we do a proposal by streaming a sample where we act the parts.
Yeah.
Now, the best part about this, oh, God, I get that itch. Oh, right in my ear, I'd take an earbud out. But the best part about this...
Did you get that checked out last week, Mitch?
Well, it's complicated. My ice pick broke. But the best part about this, I think, is that Democrat and Republican candidates, with the possible exception of President Trump, honestly, because one of the things that stands out about him is that he goes to places that others won't. So he might say, "Yeah, I'll do this debate on Rumble."
Yeah.
Again, it's not a debate; it's a discussion.
Well, now, assuming we get away with the debate thing before Congress comes in and makes a law, and that law would be unconstitutional, by the way. But
But since when does that stop Congress?
I know.
But
I'm saying in the interim, we'd have to wait for it to get to the Supreme Court. But President Trump would probably be willing to come on and do that kind of a thing because he's already demonstrated that kind of willingness. I mean, he goes on like Tim Pool and some other new media type shows.
I doubt Biden would do it. His
hell no!
Would keep him in the basement.
No, that's just it. The Democrats and Republicans largely would not, but a lot of our third parties, the Tax Reform Party, the Constitution Party, even the Libertarian Party. Well, the big L Libertarian Party would probably say no, but a bunch of small L Libertarians might say yes. And you put all these people in there, you can say, hey, and in hosting it, you can say, hey, we reached out to the Democrats and Republicans too, but they chickened out. They apparently didn't feel that they could withstand this kind of a debate format. And it's going to be bad PR for them.
Feel free to insult the people who don't come.
Yeah. They didn't have they apparently decided they don't have what it takes to compete on this playing field. You don't make it too insulting, because then you get to like defamation, and you don't want to do that.
Right. But we allowed them to play, their ads. Hey, we got 1 million people watching. Why don't you allow us? We'll play your ads. Give you like a 5-minute break, because people gotta use the bathroom, get thirsty, shit like that.
Well, it depends on the length of the debate too, and how many candidates there are. That's why starting with 10 may not be the best idea. But you do have to have some sort of a barrier for entry, so you don't have too many, and it's got to be rational.
Right.
Maybe,
but that's.
Go on.
I was gonna say, but that's when you get into the thing where you can get can't get too insulting and get a little bit. It's like, hey, everybody that's up here, we vetted with specific qualifications, making them forcing them to prove that they're, a serious challenger, want to be a serious challenger in the ring. We didn't even ask the Republicans and Democrats to do that. We just sent them a flat invitation without otherwise vetting them at all. And they didn't dare show up.
Now, see, there's another way to test this, to work the bugs out of it as well. Mm-hmm. And that's to set up this kind of a debate for congressional seats.
Ooh.
So the audience would be much smaller, but it would be a great way to test the system and to work out any bugs that creep up before you get to like a presidential debate.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, if you got to find the right place to start, going for Congress might be the sweet spot, because what you want basically not too many to be able to handle the volume and everything. You want to be able to work the bugs out and the kinks out, but you want to do your proof of concept so you can expand. Because could you imagine the drive to the platform coming back later and then saying, okay, we're working out to arrange the same kind of thing on state levels, if a locality is big enough, local levels,
I think
federal levels, presidency, governor. You basically hey, if it's a major race and it's in a location this size or larger, we will host it. We will make it happen.
To expand that idea,
Mitch, I hate to cut the short, but it's been almost 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay.
I need to get
just last word here then on this topic. Sure. To expand on that idea, instead of hosting it Rumble wide, if you will, because interest is going to be reduced if it's only a congressional seat, right? So you have someone in that congressional district handle the debate, and preferably someone who's already like an established streamer with again, barriers to entry, but have someone who's affected by the people running handle that debate. If it's a local thing, if it's a state thing, have a streamer from Texas if it's for the Texas governorship. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that was actually something I was going to bring up too, because what you brought up was something that's definitely specifically regional. And so it won't be something for like everyone.
Right. The denizens of Hawaii aren't going to care if it's a Minnesota gubernatorial race.
Right, but if you're looking at like congressional seats on the federal
You're
level,
still talking about
it's a state local thing, but there's a lot of people across the country that if you had like a serious person trying to be a candidate counter against, say, Adam Schiff, there's people outside that district that'd be like, yeah, I can't vote, but I certainly want to hear what's being said.
Yes.
All right.
It reduces the audience from like the national, the supranational level that the presidency is, but there's going to be interest.
All right. As much as I would love to continue this, I gotta go to work in the morning.
Ozer.
I have church, so.
All right. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was honestly, it was a very fine show. A lot of discussion, a lot of talk of what we would do if we controlled the election. God damn it, we controlled debates, and I'm happy for that. I forgot to say this when I first started the stream, but if you check the pinned comments in chat and in the description, we'll find 5 GoFundMes for my friends James Colley, Angela Ariaga, Moonshot, The Hey Camel, and Maddy. Falling on hard times, they could use a little assistance. Angela, what are you doing this week?
I have. We're doing a movie this week, right, Rotten?
Yes.
Yes.
I have the movie with Rotten. I have the arcade with Adam. I have whatever movie we're going to watch on Thursday with you guys.
Okay.
Right now, that's it.
Rodden, what movie are we watching tonight?
Watching Matchstick Men.
I can't wait. Mitch, anything you want to shout out?
Never Watch Alone Part 6 premieres
Thursday.
Saturday.
6 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be flying spaceships in outer space to fight outer space with spaceships on Monday at 11 p.m. on Tears Channel.
Hopefully, we will make the move to the Means Channel tonight, Monday.
Oh, yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, we'll be on my channel flying. I gotta get through the that boring ass part of fucking the lost 2100 or 2300.
2800.
That's that later.
Of Bajor.
Since you said you're trying to go to bed.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Well, next Saturday is a game stream, correct?
Correct.
And you had on Mondays, you have games with Moonshot?
Wednesdays. Usually, I believe this upcoming Wednesday, we're starting a new season with 7 Days to Die with the actual, preliminary of the official release of the game rather than all the alphas they've been having over the years.
Oh shit, the actual release is coming up. I might have to jump into it.
Yep, it's still experimental. They're doing the official streamer weekend this weekend, and I think Monkey and maybe Satsu might have been able to get in on that this time, which is really cool. And then it's still experimental, but it's the official version 1.0 rather than Alpha 15, Alpha 16, Alpha 20, Alpha 22. They're going gold.
Sweet. One of these days I gotta jump into and learn how to play that damn game. like Mitch said, we have the Never Watch Alone 6, which will be Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I have it'll be either Minions in Space or it'll be the Misadventures of the USS Oh Dear God Why. If it's on my channel, it'll be the Adventures of the USS, the Misadventures of the USS Oh Dear God Why. If it's on the Minions channel, it'll be Minions in Space, and I'm pretty sure it'll be on their channel, so it'll be Minions in Space.
I'm getting flashbacks to pigs in space.
I'll show you something cool when we're done. Other than that, we have the midnight show. We'll either have Kefk, and probably we will also have one Frosted Glass because he said he'd do it next week. And I don't know if Kefk will be up for it, so it's all good. I would like to thank everybody who came out. I would like to thank Mitch for stepping in. Thank you, Mitch.
My pleasure.
Since you are technically the guest, pick 1 through 3.
What?
Choose a number 1 through 3.
3.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next week.
Bye, all.
Giddy.
Bye.
Latest. Spanky.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away.